Today we'll be pressure canning turkey and turkey stock. This is the turkey stock. I made this yesterday. We put the turkey carcass in some water with some celery, onions, and carrots. Brought it to a boil and let it simmer over low heat for 3 or 4 hours. Now we have to strain it, let it cool down, and take any of the oil off the top. And we will can the turkey meat in the stock, and we will also can the extra stock. Here's our turkey all quartered up. There are a couple different ways that you can approach the turkey. You can either cook it 2/3 of the way and take it off the bone and can it that way. You can leave it on the bone and can it that way. Or what I usually do is take it off the bone and cube it up and can it that way. Of course, the amount of time the pressure can will be different for each one of those techniques. So I would check the Ball Blue Book or your favorite pressure canning book to find out how long to pressure can each one of those things for. I like to take it off and cube it because we usually use the canned turkey for things like turkey pot pie or stir fry, things like that. And I find that's just the easiest and most useful way for us to can it. What I'm going to do now is remove it from the bone and remove as much of the connective tissue as I can and cut it into cubes. Okay, we've done the thighs, and I did one leg just to show you that there's a lot of connective tissue and bones in the legs. So I'm not going to do the other one. It's an awful lot of work for very little meat, so we just cook up the legs. I've gotten as much of the fat and connective tissue off of the meat as possible and cut the cubes to a uniform size so that they cook at the same rate when you're canning. Alright, the turkey's all diced up, so now we will strain the stock and get ready for the canning. Alright, the way I strain the stock is to pour it through a sieve into another pan. You can also, if you want to get more chunks out of it, you can also run it through cheesecloth, but this usually works for me. Alright, the stock is strained, and I put some of the unstrained stock in with the turkey legs in a Dutch oven, and we'll just put that on top of the wood stove and let it simmer all day. Alright, we got our water bath going to sterilize our clean jars. We have the broth, the stock heating up again, because we need to use hot stock to put in with the turkey. Alright, stock is ready. The jars are ready. So, I'm going to get one of the jars that's down there. Empty out the water. There's the turkey. Just stuff it into the jar. We want to leave a 1-inch headspace. We need a good headspace when we're pressure canning, otherwise it will push all the ingredients up and out from under the lid. You don't want that to happen. So we'll do that. Our hot broth right over the top there. And we'll take our spatula, push down and get all the bubbles out. You can see that the turkey's already beginning to change colors with that hot broth in there. And wipe the edges so we get a good seal. hot lid. That. Put a rim on it. Tighten it down real good. Put it right in the canner. And we'll continue on until we got a full canner. Alright, well, we're 2 jars shy of a full canner. So I'm going to add an extra pint of water just to make sure that the pressure is going to stay right. And we'll get this put on the stove. Here's the lid. We'll take the bubbler off until we get it up and going. Alright, our pressure canner is starting to steam. So we'll wait for 10 minutes and then we'll put the bubbler on. Alright, it's been 10 minutes. We'll put our bubbler on there. It's for 10 pounds. And then we'll wait for it to jiggle vigorously. Alright, now it's jiggling, so we will turn it down to where it jiggles 3 or 4 times a minute, and then we'll let it go for 1 hour and 15 minutes. On this stove, the best spot is right about there. Every stove is different, and you have to figure out what's the best spot on your stove. See, this setting is just about perfect. Jiggle 3 or 4 times a minute. 10 pounds of pressure. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Alright, we went for 1 hour and 15 minutes. We pulled the pressure cooker off of the burners and we're just letting it cool down. Make sure you don't remove the pressure too fast or the pressure in the jars will push all the ingredients out from under the lid, so you have to let it cool down by itself. The turkey is officially canned. You can see it's still bubbling. Now as it cools down, the lids will suck right onto the jars. And you let them, they leave the rings on for 24 hours and then you can take the rings off and store them without the rings.